which ties North Carolina for the most all-time in the ACC, and Duke has won 22 of these tournament crowns, which is the most in the league's history. And their head coach, Jon Scheyer, as they defeated North Carolina yesterday, remains the only coach in ACC history to win this tournament as both a player and a head coach.
Well, and both of these teams reflect their coaches' personalities. Scheyer is a guy who was, as you said, a winner as a player at Duke. He knows he was Mike Krzyzewski's right-hand man. He's kind of it just goes about it like almost an NBA team. The way they do their prep work is almost like an NBA team. He says his players are very professional. Pat Kelsey describes himself as a guy who could make coffee nervous. So he is high energy, high strung, and his players are not nervous, but they are very energetic. If you're out here before the game, they are loud and talking and yelling, and they reflect his personality. So that's what you'll see today. Doesn't say one is better than the other, but boy, they are leaders in every sense of the word.
Well, Bob, don't sell yourself short. When we went back into his office to interview him before the game, I think you made him nervous, but he was so locked in on his preparation, writing on the whiteboard, getting his team ready to go. And both teams are set at center circle. It's Scott for Louisville, Malowacz for Duke. Clarence Armstrong, the official, has the ball in his hand, and the opening tip belongs to Duke. Tyrese Proctor grabs it out of the air. The other two officials tonight, a tremendous crew. Roger Ayers and Ron Groover here at Spectrum Center in Charlotte, the home of the NBA's Charlotte Hornets, but home to the ACC this week. It's Proctor right side of the lane, a cross-court pass to the near side for Sion James. Two dribbles on the block near side, puts up a layup too strong, wide to the right. Waterman grabs the loose ball for Louisville, and it's Hepburn on the outlet pass to the far sideline into the front court right. White jerseys today for Duke with blue lettering across the front, D-U-K-E over the chest. And for Louisville, road black jerseys with Louisville written in white across the front. 13 seconds on the timer. Hepburn's got a mismatch against Malowacz. Takes the dribble to the ACC logo. Overhead pass to the far corner for Waterman. And at the left angle now it's Edwards. 5 on the timer. He's got a ball screen. Takes it toward the top of the key. Fires a three. It's off the rim wide to the right. Offensive rebound, Javon Hadley. Fresh 20 seconds for the Cardinals. Hepburn top of the key, guarded by Knippel. 3 dribbles to the left block. Fadeaway jumper pure for Chucky Hepburn. And it's 2-0 Louisville a minute in.
The master of the change of pace. Goes one speed, comes to a sudden stop, will start again. He doesn't change. He can change direction, but the way he beats defenders very often changing speed.
Sometimes a little too fast, but it was perfect there. Proctor from the near wing. His three clangs off, and Malowacz rises from the masses to slam it home. We're tied at 2.
He is going to be a handful for Louisville to try and deal with today. Scott is a good defender, but Malowacz he makes Scott look like a guard.
Malowacz 7'2", 250, the Duke center. One of 3 freshmen on this team projected to go in the NBA draft's first round. Of course, Cooper Flagg out today, the projected number 1 overall pick. Tyrese Proctor with a pickpocket against Javon Hadley on the far wing, and it's Proctor, the junior guard, who comes up the floor. Whips it to James on a chest pass left on the dribble. James into the paint, kick it out. Proctor right wing 3. Off the iron, bouncing to the near side corner. Malowacz goes to track it down, but the ball is out of bounds. And the Louisville players scamper out of the way to make sure there's no collision there. Cardinals have the ball. We're tied at 2, 17:56 first half.
Players tend to try and be cool on the bench, but when you had that guy running at you like a train, they scattered like when you turn the lights on and the roaches go running.
Chucky Hepburn took the inbound, speeding into the front court right, and lost the ball. He plays at a very fast speed, and that time it was to his and his team's detriment. So Duke in the front court left. It's Knippel, who's been a big scorer. 28 points in their first game, 16 yesterday here in Charlotte. And both of these teams getting a double bye as a top 4 seed. Lob to Malowacz on the left side, and he hangs on the rim. His legs were over Hepburn's shoulders. That's how big he is. 4-2 Duke, and the freshman center has all 4 points.
Beautiful lob that time from Proctor.
Edwards, top of the key, guarded by Malowacz. Hesitation dribble, shot fake left block. Goes up, doesn't get the roll, and it's down to Sion James.
Malowacz's size is the main factor here early. He influenced that shot.
Knippel, right wing, drives and gets fouled on the right block. He got Waterman in the air, absorbed the brunt of the collision, and threw the ball up, although it didn't even hit the rim. But a nice shot fake there to draw the first foul on Waterman, who found himself in foul trouble yesterday.
He's in injury trouble here. He was out of control chasing the shot and flew over him and landed pretty awkwardly. He's still shaking his right leg, Waterman is.
Either one of these teams deep. They cannot afford any further injuries. First free throw for Con Knippel, 91% free throw shooter during the regular season. And that is through 5-2 Duke. So the injuries, again, Cooper Flagg, the ACC Player of the Year for Duke, out. Sprained his left ankle on Thursday, late in the first half. But Duke did say today to the NCAA Tournament Committee, as Knippel hits the second 6-2, that they do anticipate him to play in the NCAA Tournament. Also without Malik Brown, the 6'9 forward. And now for a fourth straight game, Rain Smith missing a crucial three-point shooter for Louisville. 16:53 first half. Cardinals trail by 4. Hepburn pulls up left of the lane and scores with a jumper over Sion James. Duke 6, Louisville 4.
Very smart player. You know, don't go in there and challenge the 7-1 guy. Pull up and shoot the little mid-range shot.
Isaiah Evans on the left wing feeds into the post. Right block. One dribble from Malawach, and he's called for a travel. The eagle eye of Roger Ayers on the far sideline. And the rare mistake there from Malawach, who's gotten off to a great start in the first 3.5 minutes.
Waterman made a good rotation play there. He came and was helping on the strong side. When Malawach went all the way over to the weak side to get that pass, Waterman hustled across the lane and influenced him into a travel.
Louisville in the front court right. Edwards works a between the legs dribble between the circles. Looking for Hepburn. He gives it to Scott left wing. Shuffles back. Hepburn a three. Goes down for Chucky Hepburn, and the Cardinals are in front 7-6.
Chucky looks like he's having one of his nights. He's on one of his benders.
He's scored that 32 points in the first 2 games. Knippel drives left of the lane, lays it up with the right hand from the left side. Good for 2. Blue Devils by 1, 8-7. Just past 4 minutes gone here in the first half. Edwards on the top of the key, a high dribble. Everybody wanted to carry, but he kept the hand on top of it. Feeds Hepburn on the right side. A three-pointer bounces high over the backboard and out of bounds. And it brings us to our first time out of the evening. Number 1 versus number 2 for an ACC tournament crown. And it's Duke 8, Louisville 7, 15:47 in the first half. This is the T. Rowe Price ACC Tournament Championship game on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Robinhood.
Running a business? You know that slow phone systems and missed messages cost you opportunities. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system that streamlines communication, helps teams collaborate seamlessly, and respond to customers faster. Join over 50,000 businesses already using OpenPhone and get 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/radio. They'll even port your existing numbers from another service for free. openphone.com/radio for 20% off. OpenPhone. No missed calls. No missed customers.
The second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs continues on Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy sports app to cash in on your favorite sports. The app is simple. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OT and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code OT on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for just playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. They make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. As the official ticketing partner of ESPN, we're excited to offer you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code SCHEFTER, code Schefter. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats. Experience it live.
This is the T. Rowe Price ACC Men's Basketball Tournament on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
At the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina, an early 1-point lead for top-seeded Duke, 8-7 over number 2 seed Louisville, 15:47 to go first half. Mike Cousins, Bob Valvano, thanks so much for being with us here this championship Saturday evening. These two teams, hot streaks right now. Louisville, 11 wins in a row. Duke, 10 in a row. This is the only other ACC tournament final where teams have won at least 10 games in a row. Outside of the 1974 title game, NC State had won 23 straight. Maryland had won 10 in a row. And in overtime, Maryland was a winner in that game.
I was a kid. You were not even around. But I remember that game. And, boy, those tournament games were unbelievable. We used to only take one team from each conference around the country. So you talk about.
I misspoke. I beg your pardon. It was NC State the winner in that game.
Yes.
In overtime. Said Maryland, but it was NC State. And the Wolfpack go on to win the NCAA championship that season, taking down Bill Walton and UCLA in the semis, and then Marquette in the championship game.
It's getting hot at the right time. But that was not just about getting hot. Those were two great teams. That's one of the teams Lefty Drizel used to talk about. He probably had the sixth best team in the country and didn't get to go to the NCAA tournament because they lost that game.
Now the ACC projected to have 3 teams in right now, and these are 2 of them. Duke has the ball in the front court left. Off the bench, Patrick Gungbaugh shoots over the left shoulder, a short hook, and he leaves it short. So it's still 8-7 Blue Devils, 15-25 first half. Front court right, clad in black uniforms, the Louisville Cardinals. It's Hadley, free throw line extended. 3 dribbles to the elbow, bounce pass out up top for Edwards. He takes a left-handed dribble, stops left of the lane, jumper wide to the right, Gungbaugh the rebound.
Closing out on the three-point line hard. Louisville not getting any looks from behind the arc.
Duke, the highest scoring team in the country, comes into play today at 81 points a game. The first 2 here in excess of 70. Deep triple, Isaiah Evans. And that's why he's on the floor. Duke 11 and Louisville 7.
What a job he did getting himself free from Hadley, who chased him every which way over the screen, but he just kept attacking around the screen, finally got himself enough room to get the shot away.
Evans in their first game against Georgia Tech hit 4 threes. Yesterday was 0 for 3. Waterman answers at the other end. He got open on the left side for a triple. 11-10 Duke. 14-25 and dwindling here in the first. Sion James dribbling near midcourt for Duke and shares it with his left hand between the circles for Proctor. Quick double team, fires to Gungbaugh, free throw line, out to the right side, and a 3-pointer off the front iron for Con Knippel. Hepburn up the floor from left to right. High pass to the far side corner. Waterman gives it up, gets it back, and under the basket. He takes the feed, scores on the lay-in. Terrence Edwards on the give and go.
That's twice. They've just completely lost Waterman. I mean, I can't imagine. I know their game plan's got to be centered around Edwards and Hepburn, but you can't just leave him wide open.
So now Louisville by 1, 12-11. Proctor just right at the top of the key, holds off his left hip, bounces inside. Evans on the move. Ball is stripped away. It's loose near midcourt. Knippel pushed it outside for Proctor. 8 to shoot. James in the left short corner. He's double teamed. Gives up top Knippel. Overhead pass far side. Evans quick 3. Oh, he beats the shot clock buzzer. His second triple in about a minute span. Duke 14, Louisville 12.
There's a winning play. It looked like they were going to turn it over. They scrambled around, came up with the ball, and turned it into a 3.
13-15 first half. Hepburn at the ACC logo, front court right. Bounce for Traore at the block, spins around James, and he's called for an offensive foul. He used the right arm to hook, and so Louisville turns it over. Traore, his first personal, the team's second. Duke with a substitution. Mason Gillis, the Purdue transfer, comes in off the bench. On the floor with Foster, Gungbaugh, Proctor, and Isaiah Evans, who's knocked down the only 2 shots he's taken. He's got 6 points, a pair of 3-pointers. Wouldn't be surprised to see his name come up in the NBA draft either. 13:05 in the first, Duke by 2, 14-12. Gungbaugh has it just above the free throw line, facing the far sideline, hoping to distribute. He does to a handoff for Proctor. Couple of dribbles top of the key, zips it out to the high right wing for Foster. 10 on the timer for the Blue Devils, working with a 2-point lead. High left wing, Proctor, pass fake, 3-pointer, good!
Well, when they shoot it like that, I don't know who in the country can play with them. They are just so many weapons. They're big, they move the ball, they're unselfish, and they are shooting the lights out here.
Blue Devils out in front of the Cardinals by 5, 17-12, almost 8 minutes into the first half. Deep left wing 3, Terrence Edwards gets in on the party. That was a no, yes kind of shot.
Oh, no, he makes that shot, but he's listening to me down there saying, who can play with him? Well, we can if we make these shots. I'll let it go.
That makes it a 2-point game. Duke in the advantage, 17-15, and a foul is called. Gungba, the big man, was out on the high left wing. It looked like it was going to be a breakaway steal for Louisville, and instead it turns into a personal foul.
Chucky Hepburn, the little man, trying to climb up the ladder and knock it away from Gungba.
So his first, the team's third, and Pat Kelsey makes a substitution as Kenai Roots comes in, the 6'8" freshman forward from Washington, D.C., who scored just 2 points in 2 games as he replaces Kadir Traore. So sideline inbounds from the near side. Gillis, a bullet pass into Foster, who's between the circles. Malawak sets a ball screen left. He frees up Foster. He dribbles all the way under the basket, now out to the free throw line, extended far side. 9 to shoot. Paint is clear. Drive to the basket. Reverse layup was blocked by Scott. It goes out of bounds, and the ball belongs to Louisville, and they will have it when we return. Scott, 6'11", great length there, even though Foster was faster on the dribble. Got the rejection, and Louisville down 2 as we head to the timeout. 11:51 to play in the first. The Blue Devils 17 and the Cardinals 15. You're listening to the T. Rowe Price ACC Tournament Championship game on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Robinhood.
Here's a question. Have you ever been prescribed a medication? Most likely, yes. Well, what about this question? Did you understand how it worked? The way your medication works in your body shouldn't be a mystery. Learn how Vyvgart, Efgartigimod Alpha FCAB works by visiting vyvgart.com/MOA. That's VYVGART.com/MOA. Brought to you by Argenx.
In case you didn't know, these young men are driven. They are prodigies, the savants, the ones we've been waiting for. Like Damian Lillard, for instance, he doesn't seek guidance or mentorship. He's a leader. He isn't waiting for the baton to be passed to him. He's taking it for himself. He's relentless in the pursuit of greatness, always pushing to one-up himself. He is accomplished, but far from satisfied. He embodies what it means to have an unstoppable drive and are shaking up the status quo in their community and beyond. And Damian Lillard drives a Toyota. A new generation of Toyota drivers are here, and they want you to know one thing.
You can't stop my drive.
Hey, y'all. As a growing family, my husband and I love game night, especially when it's Wayfair edition.
Let's do it. You got to name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
Sofas, bar stools, beds, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting Wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Are you hiring and ready to build your dream team? Let Robert Half's specialized recruiting professionals, together with its award-winning AI, help you scout the skilled candidates to usher in your next dynasty. Build your championship team today. At Robert Half, we know talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com.
You're listening to the T. Rowe Price ACC Men's Basketball Tournament on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
The top 2 seeds in the ACC playing to be the automatic qualifier from the league. It's number 1 Duke, number 2 Louisville, and the Blue Devils by 2, 17-15, 11:51 on the first half timer with Bob Valvano, Mike Cousins, producer Rob Kelly, and engineer Bob White. And our colleague Wes Durham of ESPN TV, the ACC network, a great historian of the ACC, lets us know that the total point differential this year in this tournament is a little bit over 7. The previous mark is a little bit more than 9. So this is, by average margin of victory, the closest ACC tournament we've ever had.
Well, since we've gotten to town, we've had some crazy. You certainly wouldn't have known it. I mean, that Carolina-Duke game looked like it was going to be a 30-point blowout. That came down to the buzzer. Louisville had a 15-point lead late, hung on for dear life. This one is off to a close start. We'll see how long it stays. The thing about these two teams is they are both capable of putting a monster run together. And so, you don't know just because it's 1 point or 2 points now, you don't know by halftime. That may not be the case. Who's going to make a run?
Louisville down by 2. They've got it in the front court right. Hepburn, the point guard from the far corner, lofts to the high right wing into the hands of Terrence Edwards. It's jarred loose momentarily by Proctor. Edwards corrals. 13 on the timer. Takes a quick dribble into the far side short corner. Back outside, Kenai Roots at the left angle. Into a dribble handoff for Hepburn. He takes one dribble in, lobs a pass to the near corner, intercepted by Con Knippel. A little bit too easy there. Knipple up the floor into the front court left. He has the ball knocked away to the near side, and Louisville comes up with it. Momentarily, they've got numbers
Lord.
and a pass up floor thrown away. Roots was looking to the left block, trying to hit Terrence Edwards, threw it over his head and out of bounds, and it's back to Duke.
That is just, as a coach, I used to say, after make a tournament, don't give it back. And the freshman just getting too excited. Hey, we got a steal. Let's run. No reason to throw that pass. Very little window to get it there.
9 minutes played here in the first half. Duke 17, Louisville 15. Near side wing, Knipple on the catch. 2 dribbles in, the layup goes. Well, he just put his body right in front of Kenai Roots and said, I'm not being denied on the trip to the basket. 19-15 Duke.
That was a pretty good defender. It was Terrence Edwards, who's a fine defender, but he ran him off 2 screens, just rattled his bones.
Far side corner, Roots marked by Knipple. Looking to back his way in the short corner, into the lane. Shovels underneath, reverse layup, good for Javon Hadley.
Now that's a nice pass by the young man. The freshman Roots kept his composure, made a good dish. Gets an assist on Hadley's first basket.
Blue Devils by 2, 19-17. The largest advantage for either side has been Duke by 5. 10 minutes, 15 seconds in the first half. Malawach up top, hands it to Knipple, lob inside Malawach, and it's knocked out of bounds. Who touched it last? And it is off of James Scott of Louisville, who was trailing Malawach there off the screen. And for the second time now, did a nice job to get his hands on a ball on the baseline.
Duke is usually a team you don't get a lot of assists because you have to beat them off the dribble because they're so good at playing passing lanes. But Louisville's got 4 assists on their first 7 baskets.
Foster the inbound, a Proctor in the near side corner, wide open 3-pointer, and a glare over his right shoulder at the Louisville bench as he runs back down the floor.
Proctor, Hepburn said, I was knocked down. He was pleading his case.
22-17 Duke, and it stays that way after a missed 3 wide to the left by Terrence Edwards. Louisville gets it back. Edwards at the right angle. Shot fake. Gets into the paint. A bounce pass. Tipped away. Scott trying to track it down near side and tipped it back in. But to Duke, it's Foster in the left side basket. And he's called for an offensive foul. He ran right through Chucky Hepburn, who let his body get knocked into the padded basket stanchion, and it pays off.
The defensive player of the year in the conference. You see why. He saved what looked to be a pretty good opportunity for a bucket for Duke. Got back, established position, and picks up the offensive foul.
Both teams shooting well right now. They've each made 4 of their last 5, and each shooting just a shade under 60%. Cardinals 3 of 6 from deep, and the Blue Devils 4 of 7 from 3.
Maybe with 6 turnovers, though, Duke with only 3.
22-17 Blue Devils, 9:30 first half. Hepburn straight away outside the arc, takes a ball screen into the paint, jump stop, floats it up off the window, and it's tipped in. Oh, what a nice job by James Scott to follow that play, not give up on it. Louisville within 3. Hepburn had to get by Malawach there, so a lot of contortionist work as he was in the air.
So the Cirque du Soleil shot there.
Cirque du Chucky, if you will, for Hepburn. 22-19, Duke by 3. Up top, it's Proctor. 1 dribble left. Deep triple off the front rim. No good. Hepburn has the rebound. Quick outlet up the floor. Hadley. He gives it left. Edwards on the run. Layup is good, and a foul on Proctor. They've had trouble running the fast break, but not that time. And the Cardinals will have a chance to tie the game at the free throw line at 8:53 to play before halftime.
Well, that's actually a good part of their arsenal. They like to push it. And you can see one of the reasons they do is they don't only have one guy who they allow to take it up the floor. That time it went from Hepburn, who's the primary ball handler, but certainly not the only one, to Hadley. Big, strong 6'6" player. They let him handle it. He's the one that delivered the pass to Edwards, and then Edwards converts and finishes it.
You and I had a conversation before the game looking at the starting lineups, and I asked you, how do you classify a guy like Terrence Edwards or Javon Hadley for Louisville? Are they guards or they're forwards? And you said no, they're just wings.
They are. I mean, I really, there's only 3 categories in my mind: points, wings, and posts. And, Hepburn's a point, and there's a bunch of wings. They don't have that many, hardly any posts.
Free throw is missed, so it remains a 22-21 Duke lead. 3 fouls against Louisville and 2 against the Blue Devils. On the point, Sion James, guarded by James Scott, gives up top, and there's a foul on the catch by a curling Knipple. There's a Duke player who got knocked down. It's Patrick Gungba, the freshman forward, who right now is on the midcourt logo, laying on his stomach, kicking his feet left and right on the floor.
We're going to go look for a review for a flagrant.
Yes, Clarence Armstrong has signaled to the Duke bench as he approaches the table. Here's Roger Ayers.
Previous play is under review for a possible upgrade.
And that's not to first class. It's for an F1, a flagrant foul.
Every time I hear that, I think, did I check in on my flight?
Well, we hope our producer, Rob Kelly, who's driving home to Connecticut tomorrow, doesn't get blown off the road with the bad weather that's coming in from the west. Taking a look at the replay here, Noah Waterman was trying to burst through a screen set by Patrick Gungba. And Waterman, I don't know if he intentionally did this, put his hand on the back of his head like a player control foul signal by the officials.
I think he got hit in the head, too.
Yeah.
I think that, usually when there's a collision like that, both guys come out a little bruised.
So at the moment, it's just a personal foul on Noah Waterman of Louisville, which is his second. As Roger Ayers looks at the videotape along the table on the near sideline, we pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the T. Rowe Price ACC tournament on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Robinhood. $8:40 to go in the first half of the ACC Tournament Championship game. Charlotte, North Carolina is the host here in the 72nd iteration of this event. Number 1 seed Duke 22, second seeded Louisville 21. With Bob Valvano, I'm Mike Cousins. Currently in a replay review as the triumvirate of officials confer near midcourt, looking at the replay monitor, and Roger Ayers coming to the microphone.
After review, the ruling on the floor has been upgraded to a flagrant 1 foul. There'll be 2 shots and the ball for Duke.
Well, obviously they thought Waterman raised his arm up and hit him in the head in a way that could have been prevented. He plays very hard. He plays very physically, sometimes a little careless. That might be an example there. So Duke with a chance for a 5-point play here because they'll get 2 free throws and then the ball.
And it's Patrick Gungba standing at the free throw line of the left end all by himself. First free throw is no good off the back rim. That foul upgraded on Waterman. It's 4 team fouls against the Cardinals, 2 against the Blue Devils. And here comes the second for Gungba. Only shot 12 free throws during the regular season, was 8 of 12. He makes the second, and it's 23-21 Duke, with possession staying with the Blue Devils in the front court left. Just above the free throw line, extended far side. Knipple holds over his head and lobs it in for Gungba. One bounce to the top of the key. There's Sion James off his right hip. Lobs under the basket. Gungba the leaping catch. To Knipple on the near side corner. Whip it up top. James a shot fake. 2 dribbles into the paint. Sends it out. Proctor, a 3 is up. And too long. And a foul on the rebound. It's against Gungba of Duke. He gets called for a push. That's his first and the team's third with 8:26 to go in the first.
It's been physical in this tournament and physical the last 2 weeks in the ACC. The Louisville player, James Scott, is playing with a mask because he had 2 teeth knocked out. In one of the last regular season games against Cal, he broke the mask, and he had to go back to the locker room and just put a mouth guard in because he said, I don't want to keep playing, and the mask was busted. So they had to give him a second mask now, which is what he's using at this point.
Good to be alive in the time of 3D printing, if that's your need.
Oh, yeah, that's how they made it. Look out.
Hepburn driving right, hoping to lob it left for James Scott. It floated away and out of bounds and into Sion James's hands, who was also out of bounds, so it's still Louisville ball.
Good job on the scouting report by Duke, though. That's one of their favorite plays, especially after a stoppage. Chucky Hepburn looking for a lob for Scott. He gets well over 75% of his baskets off dunks, and most of those dunks on plays just like that. But he read it perfectly. James broke it up.
It's also one of Duke's favorite plays, so they've had plenty of experience trying to guard it. Mason Gillis subs in. Proctor to the bench for the Blue Devils here. 8:06 first half. The inbound quickly to Hepburn in the near side corner, and he takes a left-handed dribble to the top of the key. Looking for a ball screen, perhaps. Dribbles right, lobs left wing. Edwards has it, 9 on the shot clock, guarded by Gungba. Could be a mismatch. Crossover dribble, goes baseline, spins into the paint, fires out Hepburn, right wing, shoots a 3 with a hand in his face. It's off the side of the rim, no. It hit the top of the basket stanchion underneath after it was off of Gillis, but they do signal that it's Duke ball. Thought Gillis touched that last, but perhaps not, according to Clarence Armstrong. So the Blue Devils will have it, holding on to their 2-point lead. When we return, 23-21, Duke out in front of Louisville. 7:43 to go before the half. This is the T. Rowe Price ACC Tournament Championship game on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Robinhood.
Business owners know every missed call is money left on the table. For $15 a month, get a dedicated business number with OpenPhone. Manage calls, assign conversations, send auto replies, and use AI-powered transcripts to stay on top of every customer interaction. Join over 50,000 businesses using OpenPhone. Get 20% off 6 months at openphone.com/radio. They'll even port your existing numbers from another service for free. openphone.com/radio. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
The second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs continues on Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy sports app to cash in on your favorite sports. The app is simple. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OT and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code OT on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for just playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. They make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. As the official ticketing partner of ESPN, we're excited to offer you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code SCHEFTER, code Schefter. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats. Experience it live.
This is the T. Rowe Price ACC Men's Basketball Tournament on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Duke 23 and Louisville 21, 7 minutes, 43 seconds in the first half of the ACC Tournament Championship game in Charlotte. I'm Valvano, Mike Cousins. Thanks for making time for us on your Saturday night, a very busy one. Former Louisville head coach Rick Pitino has his St. John's Red Storm in the Big East Championship game against Creighton right now, and the Cardinals are in their first finals appearance here at the ACC Tournament since they joined the league in the 14-15 season. Their last, and no, doesn't this feel like a long time ago, was 2014 in the American when they beat UConn and trying to be the first D1 team to win a conference tournament title in 5 different leagues.
This is the first ACC tournament they've ever won more than one game in. By the way, I did it for the last 10 years. This way the math would be very easy because all I had to do is add up the points and divide by 10. But you know what the average margin in the ACC championship games is for the last 10 years? I'll tell you in a second.
Duke on offense in the front court left, 7:35 to go in the first half. And it's an offensive foul against the Blue Devils, Patrick Gungba, for an illegal screen. And the answer to Bob's question.
They've been pretty competitive. There haven't been really very many blowouts, hardly at all, in fact. The biggest margin was 15. Virginia Tech, no disrespect, but Virginia Tech of all people, won by 15. The average margin is 8 points, 8.7 points a game. So they've been very competitive games.
It was Virginia Tech just 3 years ago, not all that long off. They were an early departure here in Charlotte. Front court right, under the basket, Traore swoops an underhand layup around Malowacz. It's no good, and the freshman big man snatches it off the rim for Duke. Still a 2-point Blue Devil lead. Second meeting for these teams this year. The first all the way back in December, a win for Duke. Steal at the top of the key. Gillis got pickpocketed, and Javon Hadley lays it into the right side basket. Tie game at 23 inside 7 minutes in the first.
That evens it up. Points off turnovers are now 7 for each team.
And Duke did not see Isaiah Evans hanging down in the near side corner. He was open momentarily for 3. He's taken 2 shots today, and both of them have been from deep and gone in. Drive to the right side. Sion James doesn't get it to go. Malowacz, the offensive rebound, turned away underneath. Grabs the loose ball, puts it back in from the near side.
He is a handful. He and Gungba together. It's a lot of basketball player.
23-21, Blue Devils, or 25-23, Blue Devils by 2. Hepburn, top of the key triple. Wide right, offensive rebound. Hadley's got it, and a fresh 20 seconds for the Cardinals. High left wing, Edwards surveys the scene, takes a slow, deliberate dribble to the top of the key, Malowacz defense. Between the legs dribble, still outside the arc. Now penetrates ACC logo. Turnaround 13-footer, no good. Rebound tipped by Malowacz, and it comes down to Gillis for Duke. Up the floor. Well defended. Three-pointer left wing. Evans off the front iron. Rebound Traore. Let's see what Hepburn will do as he comes across the timeline front court right to Traore left wing. A whir into the lane. Now it's right wing. Hepburn off a couple of passes. Three-pointer long. And rebound belongs to Evans of Duke.
Well, I'll tell you, he doesn't block it. Malowacz has influenced probably 4 or 5 shots already. They're shooting it a little higher than they normally do, leaning away more than they normally do, and the ball's not gone in the basket.
Hepburn cold so far, just 1 of 5 from three-point range. Sion James under the basket left end, and he's called for a traveling violation, so Duke turns it over with a good look at point-blank range. Their lead still 25-23.
Well, this Duke team is well documented as a great defensive team, but Louisville's defense has been very good as well. Top 15 in the country by Bart Torvik, top 22 in the country by Ken Pom, and they are really, these guards are tireless because it is all set up by Edwards and Hadley, but Hepburn getting over screens. They're just so hard to screen.
Hepburn's 3 of 8 from the floor, 7 points to lead Louisville. 4 players with 6 all on the floor right now for Duke. Hepburn on a drive left side, collides with Proctor, and it's Proctor who's saddled with the personal foul, and that's number 2 on the Duke guard.
Well, now we'll see what John Shire does. That's his philosophy of 2 fouls in the first half, 5:06 to go.
And his philosophy seems to be let it ride.
Well, neither one of these guys are standing on a stockpile of capable bodies that they want to throw in there. So, yeah, he's going to let it go. And you got an experienced player. That's a skill, knowing how to play with fouls.
Duke down 2 regulars, including the ACC Player of the Year, Cooper Flagg. Louisville gets it in from the baseline right, finds Hadley at the left angle, and he gives it up. Hepburn between the circles. At a screen right from Waterman, takes his dribble left, still outside the arc, crosses over Malowacz, bounces on the baseline. It's Edwards who shoots a hook, and it bounces off the iron, drops through to tie the game at 25. 4:45 to go in the first half.
Those two guys working together, beautiful pass by Hepburn, but Edwards got that shot off in a hurry as he saw Malowacz coming at him.
Caleb Foster, front court left at the ACC logo, runs in to Kenai Ruths, falls down at the ACC logo, and that's a foul on the Louisville freshman, number 1 on the big man from Washington, D.C. So 25 all, Duke and Louisville for an ACC tournament championship. Louisville substitution. Javon Hadley is out. James Scott comes in, 6'11 in the front court. They go chest to chest with Malowacz. Each team with 5 team fouls. The inbound to the right wing. One dribble. Evans from 3. A little bit too strong. Malowacz had it momentarily. Loose ball jarred to the near sideline. Foster picks it up. Top of the key. Proctor triple. And he rattles it through.
That's his 3rd 3. And Duke has at least 2 threes off broken plays. They're so good at just quickly spacing the floor, finding the open man.
At the other end, Edwards, left side 3-pointer. He did not need much room to get that shot off. 28 all with 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Edwards has 2 threes now, 10 points.
That is a game high. Proctor just 1 point behind him with 9, all of them on 3-pointers. Proctor shakes free at the left angle, step for step with Hepburn. Now out to Knipple, free throw line extended 3, swirls off the iron. Hepburn waits and grabs it with the left hand. Tied at 28, Duke and Louisville, the top 2 seeds. Hepburn, top of the key, steps into a 3-pointer. That's no good. Malowacz the rebound, and a Louisville reach-in foul.
Scott.
Now, Chucky Hepburn might want to reconsider the strategy at the moment. He's taken 6 3-pointers and made 1 of them, and we are tied at 28. Louisville and Duke here in Charlotte. 3:38 remains in the first half. This is the T. Rowe Price ACC Tournament Championship game on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Robinhood.
Here's a question. Have you ever been prescribed a medication? Most likely, yes. Well, what about this question? Did you understand how it worked? The way your medication works in your body shouldn't be a mystery. Learn how Vyvgart, Efgartigimod Alpha FCAB works by visiting Vyvgart.com/MOA. That's VYVGART.com/MOA. Brought to you by Argenix.
In case you didn't know, these young men are driven. They are prodigies, the savants, the ones we've been waiting for. Like Damian Lillard, for instance, he doesn't see guidance or mentorship. He's a leader. He isn't waiting for the baton to be passed to him. He's taking it for himself. He's relentless in the pursuit of greatness, always pushing to one-up himself. He is accomplished, but far from satisfied. He embodies what it means to have an unstoppable drive and are shaking up the status quo in their community and beyond. And Damian Lillard drives a Toyota. A new generation of Toyota drivers are here, and they want you to know one thing.
You can't stop my drive.
Let's talk numbers. In-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session, which adds up. But with BetterHelp Online Therapy, you can save on average up to 50% per session. Therapy should feel accessible, not like a luxury. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp has served over 5 million people globally and helps you fit therapy into your busy life. Your well-being is worth it. Visit BetterHelp, HELP.com/teamwork to get 10% off your first month.
I'm Kiana, and I leveled up my business with Shopify. Once I figured out that Shopify was a thing, I never turned back. I can create a site with my eyes closed. Shopify thinks ahead of us, and it thinks about the customer more than anything. Every day I'm thinking about some other new business, but Shopify is doing it to me because it's so easy to use. It's like I can't stop. I'm addicted.
Start your free trial at Shopify.com.
This is the T. Rowe Price ACC Men's Basketball Tournament on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
It's Duke and Louisville for an ACC tournament crown here in Charlotte, North Carolina, the Queen City. 3:38 left in the first half. Tie game at 28. Mike Cousins, Bob Valvano. And this is the first time since 2016 that the ACC championship game features the number 1 versus the number 2 seed. That year it was North Carolina taking down Virginia. You look at what these teams have done in their first 2 games, and Tyrese Proctor, the lead guard for Duke in the first 2, was 0 of 10 from three-point range, and today 3 of 7 from deep. And he's got a team best 9 points for Duke. On the other side, it's Terrence Edwards leading the way with 10 for Louisville.
You and I were talking during the break. You were like, wow, Chucky Hepburn might want to put his hand in his pocket for a while. He is not shooting well so far, but he is a 35% three-point shooter and incredibly streaky. As an example, in the game at home for Louisville against Pitt, he made 6 three-point field goals in the space of 4 minutes and 5 seconds. So that's what he does. He plays the way he plays, and if he gets 1, he might hit 5.
Duke turns it over. Caleb Foster was chasing a pass toward midcourt, tried to throw it back into the half court, and ended up throwing it to the Louisville bench down to our left. So here come the Cardinals, tied at 28 with Duke. 3:20 to go in the first half. Hepburn in control as he has it between the circles, gives it up left for Edwards, who gives him a touch pass to share it right back. On the near side wing, Hadley on the dribble against Knipple, takes it in, changes hands in midair, laying it up, and draws a foul. Nice job getting his body into Knipple, who is not easy to move out of the way. And that is team foul number 6 against the Blue Devils. Comes with 3:08 in the first half. And Pat Kelsey makes a substitution from his bench. He's going to bring Kadir Traore back into the game.
You are right about that. Those are 2 strong dudes, Hadley and Knipple. And that is one thing, again, that Louisville has done pretty effectively, even in this tournament. They get to the free throw line. And that's not something to be dismissed. That's only their second free throw today. Duke has 4. This will be number 3 coming up here. But Hadley gets to the line. Terrence Edwards gets to the line. It's a big asset in close games.
Hadley makes the first, misses the second. A sprinting Sion James takes down the rebound. Substitution was Traore out in and Waterman out. So Cardinals get a little bit shorter, but they still got Scott on the floor. He gives a hard hedge and a ball screen to Knipple, top of the key. A crossover dribble, falls down in the lane, falls on the ball at the left block, gives it to Sion James, and a leaping layup is good and a foul.
Every time there's a broken play, Duke gets 3 points.
From disaster to delicacy for the Blue Devils.
They made 2 threes. This was very close to a turnover. And now Sion James has got a bucket and a chance for an old school 3-point play.
He just ran in knowing Knipple needed an escape valve and provided it to perfection. Duke 30, Louisville 29.
Well, I believe that is foul number 2 on Scott, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. So he's got 2. Waterman's got 2. That's your front court right there. And the left side, the free throw for Sion James. Flips the right wrist. It touches the front and back of the rim. And then drops through. Duke 39. Duke 31. Louisville 29. Largest lead today for the Cards was 2-0. Duke has led by as many as 5. And this crowd now standing, probably about 90% Duke fans, no surprise here. A jam of the right side. James Scott just sat behind the defense and took a baseline feed from Chucky Hepburn, ties the game at 31. How do you lose a guy who's 6'11"?
Yeah, they do some job of moving him around and getting him alley-oop dunks.
Knippel on a drive right side, blows right through the defense, shoots and scores. His extended left arm knocks Terrence Edwards to the ground, but there did not draw a whistle. So Duke 33 and Louisville 31.
He's got 8 now as Duke has gone to a 2-3 zone.
And from the left wing, it's a deep 3 in the seam of that zone. Terrence Edwards. And he looks back at the crowd. He is fired up. 34-33, Louisville by 1.
He's got 13, and that one was deeper than the other one he took where you said, whoa.
Well, if he scores over 20, it'll be 3 20-point games here in the tournament for him. Jump stop in the lane. Off-balance right-handed layup is missed by Caleb Foster. Hepburn for Louisville up the floor left to right. He wants to run. Stops at the high right angle against the 2-3 zone for a second straight possession. Off to the left wing for Hadley. Feeds the high post. Scott back to the basket. Up top of the key, it's Edwards. Bounce to the left wing. Hadley thought about a 3 and then thought better of it. Edwards, high left angle.
Need somebody in the high post. That's what Edwards is waiting for. Nobody's moving.
Well, Scott flashes. He gets it, then gives it back to Edwards. From the top of the key, 2 dribbles right. Layup against Malawach off the window. No good. Tipped around. Offensive rebound. Left side. Laid in by Traore. 36-33 Louisville. 1 minute left in the first half. Cardinals head coach Pat Kelsey cheering the crowd on behind his bench to get loud as they can. Proctor on the right block takes the feed inside from Foster. Kicks to the corner. Knippel 3. No good. Rebound Louisville, and Traore comes up the floor left to right. 4-on-3 right now for Louisville. Traore out to the left wing. Edwards gives it up to Scott. Takes the ball screen into the lane. Jump stop floater. And it is down. Bounce off the iron and the window and through the cylinder. 38-33. Louisville's largest lead in the first half. The shot clock is off as the Blue Devils come up the floor with a 5-point deficit. Timeout, Duke.
Well, it's a little bit of the Terrence Edwards parade, no? And everybody has suddenly gotten in line. He has just gone wild over the last 2 or 3 minutes. Driving, 3-point shots. Take a look here. He has got a 3. He's got a layup on that last possession. He was the catalyst behind Traore getting the layup before when they missed it. Traore followed Edwards' shot, and then he made a 3-pointer before that. He's been in the middle of everything in the last 3 possessions for Louisville as they've gone on a little run. They got themselves a 5-point lead. I said you had to think somebody was going to make a run before halftime. It's not a gigantic run, but it's enough to give Louisville their biggest lead.
7-0 run in just a minute and 38 seconds. Louisville hitting 4 of their last 5 shots. And so they equal the largest lead that Duke held earlier here in this first half at the 10-minute mark, which was 5. So they were down 2, now up 5. 38-33 with 22.9 seconds to go. As the Cardinals will defend the basket at the left side in black jerseys, Louisville written in a diagonal font across the front of those jerseys. Duke in home white today. It does feel a little bit like a Duke home game in here at times with all the blue jerseys around and one distinct Louisville section behind their bench down to our left. And that's where this offensive possession will take place. Knippel to inbound for Duke. Proctor, Evans, Malawach, and James on the floor. The graduate transfer from Tulane, James, takes it in the backcourt right. And a slow walk with a hip-high dribble over midcourt. Timer's at 15. The offense all set up. Knippel at the free throw line. Other 3 players along the baseline. Proctor's got it. Gives to Knippel, top of the key. 6 to shoot. Stops his dribble. James, high left angle. Facing the far sideline. 2 to shoot. Dribbles. Fadeaway 15-footer. No good off the rim. And at the break here in Charlotte with an ACC title on the line, it's second-seeded Louisville 38 and top-seed Duke 33.
Not sure what they were trying to get there. They called timeout for a use it or lose it. And did they really want a 16-foot turnaround by James? They had to be looking for something else, but obviously didn't develop the way that John Shire wanted it to, and Louisville gets a stop to go into the locker room.
So it's 20 minutes for Louisville and perhaps their first ACC tournament crown, with Duke looking for its 23rd. A 7-0 run closes out the half for the Cardinals, and their advantage is 5. 38-33 at the break. And now here's Christine Lisi in the studio with the Cintas Halftime Report.
Guys, thank you so much. The College Basketball Halftime Show on ESPN Radio is presented by Cintas. Keep your team protected, prepared, and looking great. Visit Cintas.com. Coming up on the Cintas Halftime Report, we'll check in with the scoreboard on this Saturday of Championship Week. You're listening to Duke and Louisville in the ACC Championship game on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Running a business? You know that slow phone systems and missed messages cost you opportunities. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system that streamlines communication, helps teams collaborate seamlessly, and respond to customers faster. Join over 50,000 businesses already using OpenPhone and get 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/radio. They'll even port your existing numbers from another service for free. openphone.com/radio for 20% off. OpenPhone. No missed calls. No missed customers.
The second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs continues on Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy sports app to cash in on your favorite sports. The app is simple. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OT and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code OT on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for just playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. They make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. As the official ticketing partner of ESPN, we're excited to offer you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code SCHEFTER, code Schefter. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats. Experience it live.
Hey, y'all. It's Caitlin and Kane Brown here with Wayfair. As a growing family, one of our favorite things is Game Night Wayfair Edition.
Let's do it. You got to name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
Sofas, bar stools, beds, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
You're listening to the T. Rowe Price ACC Men's Basketball Tournament on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
I'm Christine Lisi. Welcome back to the Cintas Halftime Report. Louisville leading Duke 38-33. In the first half of the Big East Championship game, R.J. Lewis Jr. had just 2 points for St. John's. He more than made up for that in the second half against Creighton.
And the ball's stolen away by Lewis. To Wilter, to R.J., and he lays it up and in. St. John's scores off the turnover. It's 70-55.
The call on Learfield, Lewis with 27 points in that second half, and the Johnnies did something they hadn't done since 2000 when Coach Rick Pitino was the head coach of the Boston Celtics.
It is a championship Saturday in New York City. And this is a victory for St. John's, as St. John's won the outright regular season title. They're the Big East tournament winner. You know who your Big East champions are? St. John's defeats Creighton 82-66 in the title game.
SEC Player of the Year, Auburn star Janai Broom had 23 points, but it wasn't enough against Tennessee in the conference semifinals.
Top of the circle, Ziegler. Got Cardwell on him. He's going to take him. Fires a 3 and hits it. Talk to me, Ziegler. Ziegler a 3 for the top of the key as Cardwell switched down on him. Had no chance. I think that's an 11-point lead, isn't it? It is, 60-49. What a second half by Tennessee.
The call on Learfield, part of a 13-1 second half run by the Vols. 20 points for Zakai Ziegler. Tennessee handed Auburn a third loss in 4 games, 70-65. Volunteers get Florida in the final. The Gators blew out Alabama 104-82. Big Ten semifinals, Michigan State on a roll, riding an 8-game winning streak into the semifinals matchup against Wisconsin. Badgers up 3 late.
Rebound, Pierce, 5 seconds. Get him. Pierce with 4. And he throws one up. Knocked away. Gilmore ahead to Tajay. And we'll see it tomorrow. The Badgers win it. They hang on and defeat Michigan State 77-74.
Final call on Learfield. So Wisconsin moves on. Michigan and Maryland also involved in a nail-biter.
Maryland the lead, 5.3 left. No timeouts for Michigan. Donaldson the inbound to Golden. Handoff Donaldson. Jets his way with 3. Straight on with 2. Leans in, scoops. Oh! There's no timeout. 81-80. Michigan with the lead.
The call on Learfield as well. 2 weeks after claiming the outright Big 12 regular season crown, Houston looked to wrap up a dominant Big 12 season in the conference championship game against Arizona.
Uzan surveying the defense, stops, pops. Milo Uzan's got 23. Houston back on top by a deuce.
When the ball is in his left hand, Chris, you know it's going up. He is so elite at shooting when the ball is in his left hand.
Milos Uzan scored 17 of his 25 points in the second half. On the night, he was 4 of 6 from three-point range. Cougars secured the conference title their second year in the Big 12.
He hoists up the 3 at the buzzer. It's no good, and the Houston Cougars go coast to coast in the regular season, and they have captured their first ever Big 12 tournament championship after the regular season title. A remarkable year for Kelvin Sampson's team, and it's not even close to over for the future number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament.
Chris Carlin with the final call of Houston's 72-64 victory. Let's go back to Kansas City with ESPN Radio college hoops analyst and former Baylor guard King McClure. Here's Chris Carlin.
Thank you, Christine. Here in Kansas City, the Houston Cougars go coast to coast in the Big 12 season. Through the regular season, 19-1. And through the postseason, they win the conference tournament. Final score, Houston 72 and Arizona 64. And King McClure, as we look at this Houston team, they've been so good defensively all season long. The number 1 scoring defense in the country. One of the top field goal percentage defenses as well in the top 5. But this was about their offense tonight, having to answer in big situations.
And Milos Uzan was absolutely terrific. I mean, in the second half, we talked about in the first half, Arizona went through the hard hedge, and Houston wasn't able to get anything out of it. However, in the second half, Arizona switched 1 through 5, which left Walker on an island with the guards of Houston. And every single time that Walker was on the perimeter, having to guard LJ Cryer, having to guard Uzan, having to guard Sharp, they put him in position. They put him on an island and went to work. I mean, the way they were able to get to their floater, the way they would get to the rim, Uzan showing us an array of finishes, knocking it down from deep. I mean, the way that they were able to exploit the mismatches on the perimeter when the bigs of Arizona would step out there, I was extremely impressed with, and they deserve to win this game. And you're right. Typically, we talk about the defense of Houston. However, offensively, today, they got it done on the offensive side of the basketball.
Coming up next, we'll recap the first half of Duke and Louisville on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential for success. With Robert Half's winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI, we'll help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Here's a question. Have you ever been prescribed a medication? Most likely, yes. Well, what about this question? Did you understand how it worked? The way your medication works in your body shouldn't be a mystery. Learn how Vyvgart, Efgartigimod Alpha FCAB works by visiting vyvgart.com/MOA. That's VYVGART.com/MOA. Brought to you by Argenix.
In case you didn't know, these young men are driven. They are prodigies, the savants, the ones we've been waiting for. Like Damian Lillard, for instance, he doesn't seek guidance or mentorship. He's a leader. He isn't waiting for the baton to be passed to him. He's taking it for himself. He's relentless in the pursuit of greatness, always pushing to one-up himself. He is accomplished, but far from satisfied. He embodies what it means to have an unstoppable drive and are shaking up the status quo in their community and beyond. And Damian Lillard drives a Toyota. A new generation of Toyota drivers are here, and they want you to know one thing.
You can't stop my drive.
Let's talk numbers. In-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session, which adds up. But with BetterHelp Online Therapy, you can save on average up to 50% per session. Therapy should feel accessible, not like a luxury. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp has served over 5 million people globally and helps you fit therapy into your busy life. Your well-being is worth it. Visit BetterHelp, HELP.com/teamwork to get 10% off your first month.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada? Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/streaming and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/streaming.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the T. Rowe Price ACC Men's Basketball Tournament on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
I'm Christine Lisi. Welcome back. Duke and Louisville facing off in the ACC championship game. Blue Devils seeking a 23rd tournament title, while the Cardinals have a chance to become the first Division I program to win a tournament championship in a 5th different league, having done previously in the Metro, Conference USA, Big East, and AAC. Tonight's first half, much different for Duke than last night.
Gives up top, Knippel. Overhead pass far side. Evans, quick three. Oh, he beats the shot clock buzzer. His second triple in about a minute span. Duke 14, Louisville 12. Deep left wing three. Terrence Edwards gets in on the party. That was a no, yes kind of shot.
Oh, no, he makes that shot, but he's listening to me down there saying, who can play with him? Well, we can. If we make deep shots, I'll let it go.
Blue Devils up 21 at the break 24 hours ago, trail Louisville 38-33. A couple of more schools put on their dancing shoes tonight.
Inbounds to Evans. He'll bring it across the half-court line. And there it is. Colorado State dominant here in Las Vegas. Can wave that flag, Ram fans. Wave it wide and high. The Colorado State Rams are the Mountain West Conference champions.
That final call on Learfield. You've been listening to the Cintas Halftime Report. For the call of the second half, alongside Bob Valvano, here's Mike Cousins.
Christine, thank you so much. There are a lot of lives changing today around the college basketball world. Teams making it into the NCAA tournament. Both of these teams will be there. Duke trying to be a number 1 seed. It would be the 15th time they've done that. Third most in college basketball history behind North Carolina and Kansas. And Louisville somewhere in the 6-7 range as of today. 38-33 lead for Louisville as they went on a 7-0 run in the last 2 minutes to close out the first half. And let's hear from Louisville head coach Pat Kelsey with our colleague Angel Gray.
Coach, there hasn't been a game in this tournament that hasn't been close for you, but to see your guys on that 7-0 run, the biggest lead for you guys, what did you like about that execution?
We start getting some stops, strung some stops together. I mean, they're a very, very talented team and really well coached. They're fair to defend. We got to be all in with the best defense of the year for the next 20 minutes, and we'll have a shot.
We heard you in the locker room before the game tell your team, dominate, dominate. Describe how they did that through the first half.
I mean, you just got to dominate possession by possession. You know, that ball's on the floor. You got to put your teeth on it. And it's two desperate teams playing today, and that's how it should be in a championship game.
All right, you heard it there from Pat Kelsey. Now let's hear it from Bob Valvano for halftime adjustments for both teams, brought to you by True Green. Get a golf course quality lawn for less than you think. Sign up at TrueGreen.com. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
Well, Louisville got what they needed to get in the last 5 minutes or so. So what is that? That's good shots. Their shooting percentage went up to 55%. They're being a little more selective in their threes, but I don't know if it's by choice as much as it is Duke is running them off the line. They wound up shooting almost 42%, which is pretty good. They were 5 of 12 behind the three-point line. That's what they've got to keep doing. If Duke is going to try and run them off the line, they've got to be willing to take it inside and score, which they did pretty well in the first half. I mean, they were, 11 for 17 inside the arc. That's pretty good. Duke is going to have to get their shooting percentage up, and it would help if Con Knibble could get going. He does have 8 points, no threes, though. Tyrese Proctor was the main driver of the three-point bus. He had 3 3-point field goals. But keep in mind, Louisville put that run together with Proctor having gotten 2 fouls. Maybe he was a little less aggressive when he was in. I don't know, but they got a lot of weapons, and they're going to have to start making some shots. Louisville's going to have to keep the defense up. The interesting one is that they had 10 points off turnovers. Duke only has 7. That's a very key stat for Louisville.
And the Cardinals in black jerseys control in the front court left. That's in front of their own bench here for the final 20 minutes. Edwards at the top of the key, steps back against Knipple, fires an air ball three-pointer out of bounds on the white painted baseline. So an ugly first possession there for Louisville. Heat check from Edwards, and it's Duke's ball as they trail 38-33.
Yeah, that was ugly. As you said, he was driving the bus in the first half. He had 3 threes, and he was straight on, but that didn't catch anything.
So Duke on the floor with Evans, Proctor, Knipple, Malawach, and James, each team with their starting 5. Proctor between the circles, angled right, swings it left for Knipple, and he gives it up to James, marked on the edge by Hadley. Top of the key, Malawach, the big man, 2 dribbles to the near sideline. Lofts a bobbled pass to Isaiah Evans. Right wing three-pointer, Proctor! And he knocks it down. He was 0 for 10 from 3 in their first 2 games, and Proctor has made 4 threes in the first 21 minutes.
And then Jaws at Waterman coming down the floor.
38-36, Louisville by 2, a minute into the second half. Right elbow, Hepburn out to the right wing. Three-pointer, Waterman off the front rim, and there is a whistle as that ball caromed off the orange iron. Let's see who this foul is called on.
Malawach?
Foul is on Sion James of Duke, so his first as the ball stays in the front court left with Louisville. And of note for Duke, too, their final 11 games of the year, they led by double digits at the half here, trailing by 5, and they've trailed at the break 2 of their 3 games here. Inbounds goes right block. Scott misses a layup. Long carom out. Left wing, Hepburn wide open for 3. No good, back rim. And the right block, it's a fight for the rebound. And it's still going even after the whistle. Malawach and Waterman. Clarence Armstrong, Roger Ayers, the officials step in. The alternating possession arrow does give the ball to Duke, but they've got to clear up the fracas into the left side basket.
Waterman always seems to be in the middle of those and then expresses his innocence as soon as it's over. That's not a good sign for Louisville, because that is a wide open look for Chucky Hepburn, and now he's got to be a little concerned as that one, as you said, stacks up the numbers. 1 for 7 behind the three-point line. He was wide open.
Hepburn scored 8 in the first meeting between these two teams back in December, but very different looking teams. No Rain Smith, a 3-point shooter for Louisville, out for a 4th straight game. Duke playing without ACC Player and Rookie of the Year Cooper Flagg, along with forward Malik Brown. Although the Blue Devils did say to the NCAA Tournament Committee they expect Flagg to be available for the NCAA Tournament Selection Sunday tomorrow. Here's Knipple surging right side of the lane, and he lays it in. Bursts right through the defense. We are tied at 38. It was a 7-0 run to close the half for Louisville, and Duke opens with a 5-0 run of its own. Right side of the lane, a pivoting Terrence Edwards wants to distribute. He does between the circles for Hadley. Swing it left wing. It's Hepburn back to the near side corner. Waterman jabs right. drives to the basket, pops it to the right wing. Edwards for three. It's good for Terrence Edwards. He's got a game-high 18, and Louisville up 41-38.
Great pass by Waterman. Great drive. Found Edwards on the right wing. 4-3 for him, as I said, and as you said, his leading point total of 18 in the game.
ACC Tournament Championship on the line. Number 1 seed Duke, number 2 seed Louisville, separated by 3. Knippel near side wing, drives in on Hepburn, gets to the block, gets fouled as he rises up, misses the short opportunity on the right side, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2 with the foul on Chucky Hepburn, the second personal on the Cardinals point guard.
And he is so strong, Knippel. He really is. There was no tricks about that. It was, I'm here, I want to go there, and there's very little you can do to stop me.
Knippel at the right side, 91% free throw shooter during the regular season. 2 of 2 today. The first is up and good. Louisville 41 and Duke 39. Now Duke expects at least 3 players off this roster to get drafted. Cooper Flagg, Con Knippel, Kaman Malawach, all freshmen, but they're bringing in one of the best recruiting classes in the country next year, including the Boozer twins, the sons of our colleague Carlos Boozer, who's sitting down at the ESPN television set to our left. Knippel goes 2 of 2 at the line. Louisville with a 1-point lead, 41-40, 17:35 second half. Hepburn picks up his dribble, right angle, gives it free throw line on that same side to Hadley, and gets it back between the circles. Pivoting, shares a couple feet to the left for Edwards. 10 seconds on the timer. Edwards has a ball screen right. Scott rolls inside. Malawach recovers. 5-on-5, 4 seconds to shoot. Edwards in the lane, a jump stop against 2 defenders, puts it up, scores to beat the shot clock. He had no time and no other options, and he puts it in.
He's having a monster game. That's what you need against an elite team like Duke. Somebody's got to really step it up, and boy, has he ever.
Terrence Edwards has scored 20 tonight and at least 20 in all 3 Louisville games here in Charlotte this week. Deep right wing, Isaiah Evans, a 3-point threat, drives into the lane, shovels for Malawach. It's off the big fella's hands, and Louisville controls. Hepburn up the floor looking to distribute as he crosses the timeline from right to left. Into the near side corner. Hadley fires a 3. It goes front rim, backboard, and down to Sion James for Duke. They go left to right in their white uniforms, trailing by 3. Proctor on the dribble to the near side, guarded by Waterman. He can blow by him if he tries. 15 on the timer. Drive for James from the left side. Stripped and fouled as he rose to the rim, getting inside the restricted arc. Foul on Louisville. And it's on James Scott, which is the 3rd on the sophomore forward. The foul was on Sion James driving to the basket, and he goes to the free throw line where Roger Ayers will give him the ball to shoot 2 free throws. The opportunity to get Duke within 1. You got to wonder if there's some perspiration that's ended up on the basketball. 1 possession ago, Clarence Armstrong was wiping the ball down with a towel on the Louisville bench, and Roger Ayers took that ball and spun it on his black pants to try and dry it off. Gives it to James. Doesn't alter his shot at all as the free throw is good. It's 43-41. There was some conversation this week, too, especially looking at Tyrese Proctor of Duke, who was 0 for 10 from 3, about the rims here in an NBA arena, a different basketball than they're using during the regular season.
I wish somebody would do a story on that, a feature story. I'm not sure if fans know that. These kids have to play with like 4 different basketballs. Depending on who the endorser is at the school, that's the ball you use.
Yes.
These teams go on the road. I was at Louisville's facility, for example. They have a whole room filled with basketballs because they're all the different balls that we use during the course of the year.
Got to be ready for everything. Louisville, the ball, a 1-point lead. Just off the lane near side, Hadley trying to dribble in on Gungba. He's at a size disadvantage. Gets a nifty pass to the far corner. Waterman drives to the basket, puts it way too high off the glass. An off-balance shot does not go. And Duke comes up the floor with a chance to take the lead in the front court right. 43-42, Louisville by 1. There's Proctor. Free throw line extended outside the arc against Hadley. Steps back, fires a triple. Off the front rim, no good. Leaping rebound, Traore, who flew out of bounds, but left it back in for Hadley. Or rather for Edwards. He's along the near sideline looking for a screen from Traore. Takes it left to the free throw line extended. Quick double team, and now back to one-on-one with Proctor. Another ball screen frees him up top of the key. They work it around to the far side. Edwards gets it back. He's the hot hand today. A game-high 20 points, 4 of 7 from deep. Lost his dribble, Now picks it up, 4 on the timer. He's got a pull, shot fake, three-pointer left side. It goes! It is just his night, 23 points.
I mean, you can't defend them better than that. And it's going left, off balance, a good 2 or 3 feet behind the line, and nothing but nylon or cotton or whatever they make the rims out of now.
And it looks like they called it a long 2. Scoreboard says 45-42. Right side, Knipple in the paint. Kick out. James left side three-pointer. Ties it up at 45.
It's heating up now, that's for sure. So I thought Edwards was a good couple of feet behind the line. They only gave him 2.
Maybe they'll review it at the next whistle, but for now, it's a tie game. Right side corner, three-pointer, air ball by Hadley. It's out of bounds on the baseline left and off of the Blue Devils with 14:28 to go. 3-pointers abound, a game-high 22 for Edwards, Proctor, and Knipple, leading Duke each with 12. 45 apiece, Louisville and Duke in the ACC tournament title game, 14-28 second half. This is the T. Rowe Price ACC Tournament Championship game on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Robinhood.
Running a business? You know that slow phone systems and missed messages cost you opportunities. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system that streamlines communication, helps teams collaborate seamlessly, and respond to customers faster. Join over 50,000 businesses already using OpenPhone and get 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/radio. They'll even port your existing numbers from another service for free. openphone.com/radio for 20% off. OpenPhone. No missed calls. No missed customers.
The second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs continues on Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy sports app to cash in on your favorite sports. The app is simple. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OT and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code OT on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for just playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. They make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. As the official ticketing partner of ESPN, we're excited to offer you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code SCHEFTER, code Schefter. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats. Experience it live.
This is the T. Rowe Price ACC Men's Basketball Tournament on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
The separation between top-seeded Duke and number 2 seed Louisville in the ACC tournament right now is 0. 45 all with 14:28 to go here at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Mike Cousins and Bob Valvano, glad to have you along with us. Terrence Edwards of Louisville, the star at the moment, 22 points here in this game after he scored 25 against Stanford on Thursday, 21 yesterday. And he's the first player since Zion Williamson back in 2019 here in this event with 3 straight 20-point games.
Well, he's carrying them because 2 of the guys they need, at least one of whom to start making shots, are way off tonight. Javon Hadley, 0 for 2 from the three-point line. He's missed 2 wide-open corner threes. Last one was an air ball. And Chucky Hepburn is 1 of 7 behind the three-point line. Somebody's got to get it going to help Mr. Edwards because he can't do it all by himself. Duke has 7 3-point field goals. Isaiah Evans is 2 of 4. Tyrese Proctor's 4 of 9. Knipples is 0 for 3. If he ever got it going, it could be Katie bar the door. But right now, dead even, 45 all, but much the better of the play for Duke here in the second half.
Louisville led by 5 at the break. And Duke's largest lead has also been a nickel. In the front court left, Louisville in control in black jerseys. Hepburn, hesitation dribble from the top of the key, jump stop and a shot fake at the right block. He's fouled. And his shot clanged off the iron to the right with 4 on the timer, but a good job. That's where he's at his best. You watch him and his stop and start ability to get a defender on his heels, catch him out of position, and earn 2 free throws and give foul number 2 to Sion James of Duke.
Well, they are really good, both these coaches. Pat Kelsey, I watched all year. His ATOs after timeouts have been nothing short of brilliant. I think that's really it was a simple play. Duke is so good defensively, they just tried to spread him out and let Chucky try and go and do that stop-and-go thing, and they did. He makes 2 free throws, and that gives him 9 points now. Louisville back up 2.
47-45 Cardinals over the Blue Devils. It's Gumba just inside the top of the key straight away, guarded by Waterman. Couple of dribbles to the near sideline, waiting for a handoff. It's Proctor who feeds it back inside for the big man. Strip, and the loose ball corralled, and it's a foul on Louisville as Sion James was in the right place at the right time on the left block and got hit on the way up, and he is going to the free throw line to try and even this thing at 47.
I fully expected him to make this. That was another broken play. There had been 3 broken plays in the first half. Duke wound up with 3 points on all of them. 2 3-point field goals and an old-fashioned 3. I thought this was going to be another one of the old-fashioned 3s as James got fouled on the way up. He was the guy who had the old-school 3 in the first half. By the way, that's how I know how many free throws they're making here. Every time they put a free throw up, they show how many meals are donated. I think it's the local Food Lion charity. They give 100 meals for every free throw that's made, and it's up to almost – there's now 67,000. Yeah, so and when we started, it was only 44,000. So they've been fouling the last 3 days.
Although not to the liking of every fan base, just ask the Clemson fans. Top of the key, Traore on the drive against Gungba, gets by him with just 1 dribble. It's a foul on the floor as Ron Groover makes the call, officiating his 5th ACC championship game. Gungba the foul, his 3rd. 13:41 before the end of regulation. Louisville and Duke tied at 47. Inbound the baseline left. Hepburn holds in front of the 2 and 4 on his jersey. Bounces to the right block for Hadley, who was going up and got stripped. He wanted a foul, didn't get it. Tangled with Con Knippel, who brings his other 4 teammates in for a brief huddle under the basket.
Wanted to get another 100 meals donated. That's what he was looking to do.
We've eradicated hunger here in this game. Hepburn rainbows the pass into the near corner. Edwards dribbles it out to the high left wing. Gillis on the defense tried to poke it away. It's a ball screen left. Dribble to the free throw line. ACC logo. Runner with the right hand. Off to the left. James, a 2-handed rebound. 47 apiece. 13:20 to go in the game. And it's James directing the offense in the front court right. Knippel cuts through the lane. He's not open. Gungba is at the left block. 1 dribble, goes up and gets fouled underneath. Waterman hit him on the shoulder. If it is on Waterman, that'd be his 3rd. 3 team fouls apiece here in the first 7 minutes of the second half.
He and Kenai Ruth's having some conversations and confusion about whether to switch or not. And the big fella catches it there. He's almost unstoppable. Right now, you get the feeling Duke has more weapons that are, if they're not rolling, at least they're scoring. Louisville, it's a one-man gang. It's Terrence Edwards and nobody. Chucky Hepburn has 2 free throws this half. Those are the only points other than Edwards.
Gungba 1 of 2 at the line today. Hits the first one here. Front court substitution. Scott is in for Waterman for Louisville. Waterman goes to the bench with 3 fouls. And Gungba to shoot his second. It's Duke 48, Louisville 47. Pat Kelsey makes sure, as Waterman goes to the bench, to have a quick conversation with him as he looks up at the 6'11", 6th-year forward. Second free throw pure as well. Duke 49, Louisville 47. Crowd to its feet here at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte. Blue Devils defend the left side basket. Left angle, Hadley rips through with a ball screen from Edwards. Goes baseline back to the basket against Proctor. 1-on-1 at the ACC logo. Lowers his left shoulder, goes up, and it's swatted away by Gungba from the backside of the play. Ball out of bounds on the baseline, still 12 to shoot for Louisville.
You said Hadley does a good job on his primary defender of getting possession and trying to draw the foul, but the secondary defender, the big fella, came over Gungba and teed off on it.
Hepburn inbounds to the far side corner. On the dribble, here comes Edwards into the paint, stops his dribble, 1-on-1 against Gillis, off balance shot, no good, wide to the right. Gillis there for the rebound. Duke by 2 up the floor, left to right. It's James up the far sideline. with a right-handed dribble, points to the top of the key with his left. Here comes Proctor to get it. Quick pass to the junior guard from Australia. He points to his right. Dribbles that way. Gets to the first marker. Shovels back for James in the corner. Three-pointer is good. And it's Duke by 5, 52-47. And this building is ear-splittingly loud right now with 12:23 to go and a Louisville timeout. Duke 52, Louisville 47. You're listening to the T. Rowe Price ACC Tournament Championship game on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Robinhood.
Here's a question. Have you ever been prescribed a medication? Most likely, yes. Well, what about this question? Did you understand how it worked? The way your medication works in your body shouldn't be a mystery. Learn how Vyvgart, Efgartigimod Alpha FCAB works by visiting vyvgart.com/MOA. That's VYVGART.com/MOA. Brought to you by Argenix.
In case you didn't know, these young men are driven. They are prodigies, the savants, the ones we've been waiting for. Like Damian Lillard, for instance, he doesn't see guidance or mentorship. He's a leader. He isn't waiting for the baton to be passed to him. He's taking it for himself. He's relentless in the pursuit of greatness, always pushing to one-up himself. He is accomplished, but far from satisfied. He embodies what it means to have an unstoppable drive and are shaking up the status quo in their community and beyond. And Damian Lillard drives a Toyota. A new generation of Toyota drivers are here, and they want you to know one thing.
You can't stop my drive.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada? Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/streaming and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/streaming.
Hey, y'all. As a growing family, my husband and I love game night, especially when it's Wayfair edition.
Let's do it. You got to name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
Sofas, bar stools, beds, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
You're listening to the T. Rowe Price ACC Men's Basketball Tournament on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
We now pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the T. Rowe Price ACC Tournament on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Robinhood. At the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina, 12:23 to go in the second half. Duke 52, Louisville 47 with Bob Falvano. I'm Mike Cousins. And Duke projected number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, according to Joe Lunardi, hoping to do that for the 15th time. And projecting right now to have their largest lead, too, as they're up by 5, finding quite a good rhythm here early in the second half.
Well, somebody for Louisville is going to have to open the gates of scoring, because right now they can't go just by Terrence Edwards. This is where they really miss Rain Smith. They would run an ATO probably for him. Let's see if Kelsey's got something up his sleeve.
Hadley at the top of the key with Louisville in the front court left. Lofts it to the far side for Hepburn. A dribble to the first marker, right side of the lane. Stops there, steps through on a shot fake. It's short, perhaps tipped by the Duke defense. And Knippel under the basket. Outlets to James up the near sideline. Numbers for the Blue Devils. Right wing, Proctor, he's got a 3, and it's the largest lead of the night for Duke. 8 points.
They are rolling now. Proctor 5 threes, 15 points. And Louisville has no offensive answers.
10-0 run. Louisville scoreless in the last 2.5 minutes. They closed out the first half on a 7-0 run, and Duke is socking it to them. 55-47, inside 12 to go. Out near midcourt, Edwards got hedged out that way. Cross-court pass from Hadley is intercepted by Knippel. Up the middle of the floor. They get it to the near corner. Proctor again for 3. Off the back rim, and the roof might have come off the building if that went down. Here comes Edwards from right to left. He throws over his head into the far corner. 3 for Roots. Back rim, no. Tipped out top of the key. Knipple takes it away. He's going 1-on-3 to the right side basket. Layup is smacked off the backboard. It's a goaltending call against Ruth, who then sticks his right index finger in the air. Pat Kelsey does the same, asking for a replay review. And Ron Gruber, the official, gives the thumbs up, says, we'll take a look. At the moment, it's Duke 55, Louisville 47, 11:08 to go here in the second half. Both teams retreat to their respective benches for a timeout on the floor. This is the T. Rowe Price ACC Tournament Championship game.
Goaltending call will be reviewed at this timeout.
That's from Roger Ayers, and we're on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Robinhood.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential for success. With Robert Half's winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI, we'll help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let's talk numbers. In-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session, which adds up. But with BetterHelp Online Therapy, you can save on average up to 50% per session. Therapy should feel accessible, not like a luxury. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp has served over 5 million people globally and helped you fit therapy into your busy life. Your well-being is worth it. Visit BetterHelp, HELP.com/teamwork to get 10% off your first month.
If you like true crime stories, listen to this one. But as you listen, put yourself in the place of this IT manager, because he never dreamed this would happen at his company on his watch. He came in on a Monday and tried to log in and couldn't. A ransom pop-up informed him that company data, customer files, bank accounts, APAR, everything was being held for ransom. And if they didn't pay $250,000 in Bitcoin, no less, all of it would be wiped. Nearly a third of mid-sized American companies got hit by data breach last year, and that number is going up. It's your choice. Trust your current cybersecurity infrastructure like he did, or outsource, protecting your precious data with the leading managed security services provider in the U.S., Thrive. It all starts with a comprehensive Thrive cyber risk assessment. Thrive security analysts identify security gaps and deliver proactive solutions to help keep your network healthy and protected. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Are you ready? Get your no-obligation security recommendations and consultation. Your business relies on it. Visit thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN.
This is the T. Rowe Price ACC Men's Basketball Tournament on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
The number 1 seed Duke Blue Devils on a 12-0 run, up 57-47, 11:08 to go here in the second half. Both teams headed to the NCAA tournament. Duke hoping to be a number 1 seed. Mike Cousins and Bob Valvano with you. And as we left, it was a replay review for a goaltending call charged against Kenai Ruths of Louisville on a breakaway basket by Duke. And the scoreboard shows that that basket does count. Roger Ayers, one of the officials, standing along the microphone at the scorer's table, ready to make his announcement. Roger, you're up.
After review, the goaltending call stands. 2 points Duke.
I think somebody should do a, what do they call it, gender reveal that way. Get an official and have him have a little something in his pocket, and the first time he has to do it, he comes to the table and he says, upon further review, the goaltending stands, and it's going to be a boy.
We had a baby, it's a boy. Front court left, Louisville trying to stop a 12-0 Duke run, and they do. Chucky Hepburn from the right side block, perhaps not the most likely candidate to score from there, just 6'2", but he does. And it's Proctor the other way, wide open on the right wing for three. He is 6 of 12 from three-point range. All of his 18 points have come on three-pointers. Duke 60, Louisville 49.
I don't know what Louisville was trying to do defensively there. I think they were just so relieved they finally scored a basket. They forgot to guard the guy who's been making threes like it's his job.
Well, the 12-0 run is over, but now it's 15-2. Hard hedge, two Duke defenders slow down the Louisville offense, top of the key. Near side short corner, Edwards on the baseline goes up, blocked by Gungba, gets it back. The Cardinal big man rises, shoots, and scores off the window for two, 60-51. But boy, that was a hard-fought two.
I was going to say, you can't fault his effort. You talk about having to grind one out there.
Midway point of the second half, and it's Duke by 9. And we've got an offensive foul. It's an illegal screen on Duke's Mason Gillis. No, they call it on Con Knipple, although it was Gillis who appeared to set the screen there. But we're told Knipple, so we'll pass along for the moment. It is his second personal. 10 minutes to go, 60-51. Duke leads Louisville by 9. Cardinals led by as many as 5. Duke's largest was 11. Not all that long ago. Hepburn, the left wing, gives it up top for Scott, sprints back to get it. And he's off the top of the key just to the near sideline. Feeds Traore in the short corner. One-on-one against Knipple. 2 dribbles, spins baseline, pivots inside, shoots it, blocked by Gungba. Loose ball. Proctor dives for it. It's knocked away, and Knipple tries to give it up. Now 3 players on top of it. Pat Kelsey frantically trying to call timeout. His players didn't have possession. It is a jump ball. And how many referees, coaches, and fellow teammates does it take to peel away the layers of a human game of Twister? The answer is a lot, plus 3 Duke managers coming out with towels to wipe up the wet spot.
That was just absolute sheer determination, and you got to love it. You know, this is for all the craziness of what's happening in college basketball and NIL and everything else. When push comes to shove, or you strip it down to its most basic parts, this is what it's all about. This is 2 very good teams, very good coaches, really, really animated fan base, and they are getting after it. And that ball there were at least 5 bodies on the floor diving desperately to try and come up with it.
So the alternating possession arrow favors Louisville. They're slated to have possession here. 9:35 to go. Roger Ayers and Ron Groover, 2 of the 3 officials, are conversing right now at the top of the key.
I think they wanted to see how much time they get. They're going to give them the full 20.
9:35 to go. 20 on the timer, and now a Louisville manager comes out to re-wipe down that same spot. And Pat Kelsey was trying to call timeout there, but it's a good thing he didn't get it for Louisville's sake, because they'd only have 1 timeout left, and we still have 9:35 to go.
Good point, and they still do have the ball. The arrow is going their way. Whenever I see all this mopping going on, it makes me wonder, what did we do in the old days? Were guys just sliding around like they were playing hockey out there?
And playing in canvas shoes, too. How did everybody not break their ankles? 9.5 minutes to play. Louisville in black in the front court left. Duke in their home whites with blue accents. Edwards, top of the key. He's got 24, still the game high. Deep right wing. Hepburn had it over his head. Takes the dribble into the paint. Euro steps. Leaves the layup short. Malawat secures the 2-handed rebound. Duke up by 9, and they want to run. They push the pace into the front court right. Proctor in the near corner, marked by Hepburn. He ran him off the line, fades, shoots, does not get the roll, but he falls to the ground and does get the foul. Number 3 on Louisville's Chucky Hepburn. And Tyrese Proctor, a 74% free throw shooter, will fire a pair up from 15 feet away.
That had a different meaning in the 60s, by the way. But anyway, the Hepburn has pretty much lost the confidence in his shot, because he had open shots that he normally would pull a trigger on. He's trying to get in around the basket, and he's challenging guys that literally are almost a foot taller than he is, making his job very, very difficult.
Proctor's first. No good. Still 60-51 Duke. For the second time they've met this year, and this is in the 194th ACC game of the year, just the second game between 2 top 25 teams. Yesterday was the first between Louisville and Clemson. A 76-73 Cardinals win. Proctor's second is also no good, but he grabs his own miss at the ACC logo, shovels out for Knipple, whose three swirled out. Oh, that was a dangerous possession there for Louisville.
Absolutely. Dodged a number of bullets.
Duke by 9. Louisville on offense in the front court left. From the far corner, Edwards curls a dribble into the lane. Gives it up Traore, bothered by 2 defenders.
Look at that defense. They are really so good at rotating.
Traore short corner right against James, and the foul is an offensive one. They get Traore for a hook. He's got 2 fouls, and both of them are of the offensive nature tonight, the exact same fashion.
They are just that was a clinic in how to rotate defensively. Duke. Louisville should have had 2 open shots. Not only didn't get open shots, they didn't get a shot away at all.
And you said it when we had that pile up in front of the Louisville bench just a couple moments ago. Now the officials may be going over the monitor. Not entirely sure, but here comes Roger Ayers for an explanation.
Previous play is under review for a hostile act.
Uh-oh. Hostile act.
But you said it. We're going to look at the monitor, and we'll get to the replay in a second. Duke has perhaps the deepest pockets of any team in college basketball when it comes to resources, not just to pay their players, but in what they can give them off the court. The thing that you cannot buy is hustle, and they do have that. And that's what you mentioned, their defensive rotation has been so good. So just wanted to give them praise where it's due. And we're looking at the replay here. It was Traore dribbling with the left, reaching around with the right to try and ward off Sion James, and in the process, clipped the Duke guard in the face with his forearm.
Well, it's very frustrating as a coach to see a guy do that. I mean, he's got the ball. You should never do it anyway. But he has the basketball, and so blatantly to extend your arm, it wasn't like he was close to his body and gave him a little nudge. Stuck his arm out and wrapped it around his head. But I think, did they just call a common foul?
Just a common foul, the offensive foul.
Probably the right call, but it's still a foolish turnover. Louisville that was an opportunity there. I mean, you start thinking already, if they could have made a 3 there, could have got it to 2 possessions. And again, they didn't even get a shot up. They're making too many unforced errors here, but Duke, I shouldn't say unforced. Duke is forcing some of them. They're playing really cohesive defense.
And the guy to keep an eye on in the front court for Duke is Tyrese Proctor. 6 of 12 from 3, 18 points. Hepburn guards him in the far left corner. Knipple controls a relatively quiet night, all things considered. 14 points, 2 dribbles to the basket. Reverse lay-in doesn't go. Second try, no, but it's Malowacz on the third who puts it through. 62-51 Blue Devils. Louisville sprinting up the floor. Urgency palpable here as they trail by 11. Scott back to the basket. It was jarred loose by Malowacz's hand. Waterman at the top of the key. Shovels it back for Edwards. He's been the star today offensively. A game-high 24. 10 to shoot, 8 minutes to play. Double crossover dribble to the left block. Rejected by Malowacz. Only his second block on the stat sheet, but he has impacted way more plays than that.
That's exactly what we talked about earlier. He is influencing a lot of shots, and these Duke fans sense they have the Cardinals on the ropes.
7:56 to go in regulation. Duke by 11, 62-51 over Louisville. This is the T. Rowe Price ACC Tournament Championship game on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Robinhood.
Business owners know every missed call is money left on the table. For $15 a month, get a dedicated business number with OpenPhone. Manage calls, assign conversations, send auto replies, and use AI-powered transcripts to stay on top of every customer interaction. Join over 50,000 businesses using OpenPhone. Get 20% off 6 months at openphone.com/radio. They'll even port your existing numbers from another service for free. openphone.com/radio. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
The second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs continues on Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy sports app to cash in on your favorite sports. The app is simple. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OT and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code OT on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for just playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
This is the T. Rowe Price ACC Men's Basketball Tournament on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
As of this evening, the ACC projected to send 3 teams into the NCAA tournament field. The Clemson Tigers and these two, Louisville and Duke. The Blue Devils up 62-51 over the Cardinals. 7:56 to go in regulation. My cousins, Bob Valvano, with you as Louisville tries to find an answer offensively. Scoreless in the last 2 minutes, 20 seconds. They'll have 6 on the shot clock here coming out of the timeout.
They're shooting a combined 5 of 21 this half, 23%. 1 of 7 behind the three-point line, which is 14%. And compounding it, this is a team in Louisville that makes 5 more free throws a game than their opponents. They've only taken 5 and made 3. Duke has taken 15 already and made 12. So they're getting a little bit overwhelmed here by the depth of this Blue Devil team.
Tyrese Proctor of Duke, 6 of 12 from three-point range. J.J. Redick has the Duke all-time ACC tournament record with 7 made threes. Inbound, it's Louisville in the front court left. Hepburn will get it in. He's been the one to pass it in from the baseline all day. And it's an offensive foul on Noah Waterman. He ran through Sion James, and Waterman is called for his 4th.
I mean, literally ran directly over him. I don't know what goes through players' minds. What does he think's going to happen there? It's not being tough. It's being foolish.
It would be good if it were platform 9 3/4. It's not. That was a brick wall of Sion James. Impenetrable, and so Waterman is to the bench with his 4th. Kenai Ruths is back into the game. 62-51, Duke the advantage. This is their largest lead of the night after they trailed by 5 at halftime. James between the circles, gives it up left wing for Con Knippel. Chest pass firmly to the top of the key for Proctor. Give it up, Malawach, and it's a foul on the far wing. Hepburn was running through a screen set by Malawach. And did they just call Hepburn for a foul?
Wow, that's a tough one there.
I don't know about that. It looked like Malawach was sliding as he tried to set a screen on Chucky Hepburn, and he was. And that's just a bad luck foul for Hepburn there on the edge.
Wow.
Because I'd say
that's no call or it's on Malawach,
yeah.
I think.
And I like that one.
But when things are going your way, everything seems to go your way.
And that's 4 on Hepburn. So he's the second Cardinal with 4 personal fouls, 8 against Louisville in the second half. 4 have been assessed on Duke. So it's 1-1 for Tyrese Proctor at the right side. He's 6 of 12 from 3, and amazingly 0 of 2 at the free throw line. First, no good. He's 0 for 3. 62-51, still the Duke lead, 7.5 minutes to go. Hepburn working with 4 fouls on offense, front court left. Free throw line, left-handed dribble. Sends it out to the far right wing. Hadley drives into the lane, puts it up, and he's fouled. Malawach came over and blocked it, but after the whistle, Louisville wants it to be a shooting foul.
Well, it's a shooting foul. If it's a foul, the question is it goaltending? That's what they're trying to find out.
The ruling on the 4 goaltending 2 points. It is under review.
All right, that's Roger Ayers, who is officiating his 8th ACC title game here tonight. Goes to the monitor. Down to the scorer's table to our right, along with Clarence Armstrong. And that allows both teams time to huddle up. Louisville 2 timeouts left. Duke with 3. It's 62-53 after the goaltending penalty called on Malawach. And Duke has been everywhere here in this second half. They've contested all 22 of Louisville's second half field goal attempts. First half, it was 17 of 29 contested field goal tries. So when you talk about their defensive effort, with both teams being limited to basically 8 players tonight, that is top-notch for Duke.
There's the replay again. I don't know. That's going to be tough. That's close. Very close. It's like the one in the first half was very close. But the thing that
After review, the call has been reversed. It'll be a 2-shot foul for Louisville.
It was close. I got to admit. It really was.
Did you predict that Roger Ayers would come out of the many pronunciations on the Louisville side of the ledger?
Is that how he called him?
That's what he just said. That's a surprising one.
The problem right now is there's no confidence for any of the guys who normally shoot the ball for Louisville. Hadley had an open corner 3, passed it up. Chucky had an open top of the key. Chucky Hepburn, he passed it up. And they go inside, and they're trying to take it at guys that are very, very large and good shot blockers.
1 of 2 at the line for Louisville's Javon Hadley. Made the first. Second was off the front iron. It's a 10-point Duke lead, 62-52, 7:15 to decide the ACC tournament champion. Knipple, top of the key. He's got 15 points tonight, but 0 of 4 from 3. Into the paint, out for Proctor in the near corner. His three-pointer, no good. And the rebound for Kenai Roots in Louisville. Proctor still shooting a tremendous number tonight, 6 of 13 from 3, and a Duke best 18 points. Louisville's leading scorer, Terrence Edwards, gives it up. Chucky Heckburn at the left elbow. He's got Proctor on his back. Shot fake, got a good look, leaves it short. Proctor got in front of him and got the rebound. It has not been a great night for Hepburn. 11 points, but 4 of 14 shooting and only 1 of 7.
And remember, he started hot. I said he might be on a heater tonight. It looked like he was going to get going.
Started 3 of 3. And Knipple curls, top of the key, dribbles to the right block, shot fake, shoot, and score. 64-52. Knipple has 16. Back the other way on the right side, a runner, not good from the right for Terrence Edwards, and Malawach takes down the Duke rebound. 8 points and 10 boards for the freshman. Duke by 12. And this is looking like the Duke team that we saw during the regular season. Whether they get to their season average of 81 tonight may be irrelevant, but the way they played during the regular season, 22 points a game was their average margin of victory. Inside 6 minutes to go. Gillis tries his hand at a three from the right angle. No good. Rebound Edwards, and the Cards up the floor from right to left, down a dozen. Hepburn from the right angle. Passes top of the key for Scott. With his mask on, he floats it to the near wing. Edwards gets a good look from 3. That goes down. Louisville needed that. 64-55. Timeout, Pat Kelsey. Louisville has 1 timeout here in the final 5 minutes and 36 seconds as they cut it to a 9-point Duke lead. 27 now for Terrence Edwards.
He's got basically, essentially half their points. 27 of 55, so that gives you an idea. That's good for him, not good for their team. I forgot I have 1 point too many for him because I gave him a 3 on that one that we both thought he made, but they said it was a 2. So my book is now accurate. 27 points, 5 threes for Terrence Edwards, and not much else going for everybody else. In fact, let's take a look and see if we can do some simple arithmetic here.
Well, don't include me in that. I can't, but maybe you can.
I'm excited about it. I like arithmetic. So Terrence Edwards is shooting 11 of 23. So if you take him off of the mix there, the rest of the team is shooting 11 for 31. So that explains why they're having problems elsewhere. He's just at 50%, just under, and the rest of the team is way under.
35% for the rest of the group.
And that makes 40% over as a team. And just a really rough time behind the arc. Only 7 of 20. Duke 10 of 24.
42% for the Blue Devils from three-point range. 5.5 minutes to go as Louisville controls. Or rather, as Duke controls out of Louisville's penultimate timeout. Gungba, the freshman big man, into a dribble handoff at the high left angle for Sion James. And there's a kickball whistled by Ron Groover on the far sideline. Officials, as we learned yesterday, working with those green whistles to honor their late colleague, Ramey Styons, who passed away late last year.
Very good official. I remember right. He did a really good job. Very likable guy, too.
5:19 to go here in Charlotte, North Carolina. On the inbound, baseline right side, it's into Gungba outside the three-point arc. He takes 2 dribbles, spins in the paint, puts it right over the front lip of the rim. Looking like a guard on that, and he is not that. 6'11", 250, 66-55. Duke up 11 with 5 minutes to go.
Louisville switched on the inbounds to guard Knipple, and he recognized he had a much smaller player on him, took it right for the goal.
Edwards from the right corner, 3, no. Tip to the Louisville bench, and last touch by the Cardinals, Kenai Roots. Trying to make a good play there and tip it to his teammate Javon Hadley, but did not get control.
Quoting our good friend and proud Carolina alum, may pain him to hear me quote him, but the train is pulling out, as Marty Brenneman used to say. That's the way it looks right now.
And he might also say in about 5 minutes, this one belongs to the Blue Devils. Into the paint, Gungba again, leaping try. Off the backboard, missed it, but got the foul. He is playing with quite some confidence after yesterday against Carolina. Scored 12 points in 17 minutes. That was a career high scoring-wise. He gets fouled by James Scott, which is his 4th, and Gungba today has 5 points and a chance for more at the stripe. So there are 3 Louisville players now with 4 fouls. Chucky Hepburn, their point guard, Waterman and Scott in their front court. Gungba makes the first free throw. Duke 67 and Louisville 55. So this match is the largest lead of the night for the Blue Devils at 12. The Cardinals' biggest advantage came at the end of the first half, a 5-point lead, 38-33. As they went to the locker room, Duke now by a game best 13 points on the second made free throw, 68-55, 4:37 remaining. So pressure rising. Louisville certainly feeling it in the front court left. Hepburn, 2 dribbles into the ACC logo, lobs it underneath, off balance. James Scott couldn't get it. It's off the backboard. Duke controls. As good as Louisville looked in those first 20 minutes, they have looked perhaps the opposite of that here in the second. 68-55. Duke is up 13. Their one regular season matchup, Duke won by 11, 76-65. And the Blue Devils call a timeout. They hold in the front court right with 9 seconds on the timer as John Shire takes a full timeout. 4:05 to go. The Blue Devils 68, the Cardinals 55. Let's go back to the studio for an update around the rest of the country. Here's Christine Lisi.
Thanks, guys. St. John's won the Big East title for the first time in 25 years, beat Creighton in the tournament final 82-66. Big 12 title game, Houston taking care of Arizona 72-64. Other automatic bids to the NCAA tournament handed out tonight to conference champs, including to Colorado State, which beat Boise State 69-56 in the Mountain West Championship, won its first title since 2003. America East, Bryant defeated Maine 77-59. Norfolk State edged South Carolina State 66-65 to take the MEAC. Mid-American, Akron got past Miami of Ohio. And among the championship games tomorrow on the schedule, it is Tennessee versus Florida in the SEC, 1 Eastern, ESPN. Bobby and Mike, back to you.
Thank you so much, Christine. Heck of a job by John Gross, too, as well at Akron. Just won his 5th MAC tournament championship overall, 3rd with the Zips, an 18-point comeback tonight.
He's a fine coach, a good guy. I got to know him back. There's a lot of mid-major kind of games for TV, and he was just a delight to deal with and a terrific coach. By the way, that game between Tennessee and Florida is going to be a very, very interesting one because the 2 regular season matchups, we had one of them. We had the one at Tennessee where Tennessee ran Florida out of the gym, and that came 3 weeks after Florida just absolutely trounced Tennessee.
In a game that wasn't close and was the first loss of the year for the Vols.
They lost by 30, and then they turned around and beat them by 20. Your old-fashioned 50-point swing. You don't get that very often just by changing arena. So who knows, but they'll settle it tomorrow for the SEC championship. That should be a good one.
And then Selection Sunday tomorrow, Duke on track to be a number 1 seed. They indicated to the committee, this was important for everybody to know, that Cooper Flagg, they expect him to return. We saw him twist his ankle. No contact on the play a couple of nights ago. Went leaping up for a rebound, came down, the left ankle twisted. And they said to the committee, we expect him to be available, which gives the committee the information they need to say, yes, Duke looks like the number 1 seed that they've been all year, and we expect them to stay that way with their best player coming back for the tournament.
Well, that's the hope when they say that to them. And, you know, as Phyllis points out, and I love talking to Jay about stuff like this, so they really use whatever criteria they want. I mean, you're never going to have a guy come out and say, yeah, I put this team ahead of that team because I like the way that guy parts his hair as opposed to the other guy. But he said, really, how they decide is how they decide. But in fairness, you do want to know if he's going to be out completely, and it sounds like he'll be back. And obviously, whether he'll be back now, the question is, assuming they get a 1 seed, do you play him in that first-round game, or do you try and get him a couple of more days rest? That will be what Shire's faced with if that is, in fact, the scenario.
Now, what would have set up a really intriguing matchup had been if Maine had won the America East. Cooper Flagg is from Maine.
Yeah,
the Blue Devils could have played the Bears in the first round.
The Maine-on-Maine crime.
The ball is into Gungba in the paint. He turns. It's off the iron on the first shot. Second rolls off the front rim, and Waterman playing with 4 fouls has the rebound for the Cardinals. 3:50 to go, and it's in the paint on the pass from the top of the key. Knocked around in the near wing. Hadley has it. Sends it all the way back up near midcourt. Edwards on the dribble. Hard hedge. He has 2 defenders. Who's the open man? Scott drives the paint. Layup is good, and the foul against Mason Gillis of Duke. So it's 68-57, and the Cardinals can make it a 10-point game here with 3:38 to go.
Well, that's good coaching from Shire. What they do is when he comes off the screen, they are going to blitz him. They're going to double him. He being Terrence Edwards, because he's been carrying the load. And they're going to basically say, hey, you're going to beat us? You're down 11 now. You were down 13. You're going to try and do that with some of the other guys? We'll take our chances. And as much as James Scott does a lot of things well, scoring is not really his forte. Misses the free throw, so they're willing to roll the dice with people other than Edwards.
It was only 42% of the line during the regular season. So it remains Duke by 11. 68-57, 3:25 to go here in Charlotte. Knipple top of the key, one dribble left. Floats it right. Gillis, a wide open three. No good, off to the left. Malawach swats it to the far sideline. Edwards brings it down. And Louisville down 11. Needs points, and they need him quick. Right angle, Edwards, double team. Lost it to the near wing. Waterman's a three-point shooter. Rattles out. Knipple had it, lost it. Bobbled to the far side. His teammate Sion James tracks it down. That was as good a look as Louisville could have hoped for there. Knew the double team was coming. And they got to get it to the right guy in the right amount of time. 2:50 to go now. So Duke with an exercise in killing the clock as they spread it out. Knipple, right angle, overhead pass up top for Gillis, an experienced veteran there. Got 6 on the timer. Knipple right side off a Malawat screen, leaves the three-pointer short. Hepburn grabbed it, tapped it to his left. Up the floor, Edwards into the paint. Euro step runner, and it's no good. Knipple's there to get it. Still 68-57. A couple of good looks. 2 possessions in a row and no points for Louisville. The blue-clad faithful here in Charlotte, you can find them all around the Carolinas, and they've assembled by the thousands at the Spectrum Center, rising, cheering, making their voices heard. Duke 68, Louisville 57, 2 minutes to go. James winding the shot clock, down to 4, picks up the dribble. It's Gillis to the right side, free throw line extended. Step back three-pointer is too late, and a shot clock violation with 1:56 to play.
That's all right. John Shire will live with that. And 30 seconds off the clock. Speaking of Shire, you have to tip your hat. That is a thankless task to follow a legend. The landscape is littered with guys who tried and even had pretty good success. I mean, my favorite one to quote, of course, is Gene Bartow, who went to UCLA after John Wooden. He went to Final Fours, I believe was something along the lines like 54-8, and basically said, I got to get out of here. That's how much the pressure was when you follow a legend.
And Shire's all of 36 years old. His defense comes up with a steal ripped right out of the hands of Louisville's Javon Hadley. Now 1:40 on the clock, 20 to shoot. They're going to take this timer all the way down because time is their biggest enemy at the moment. Duke, with an ACC tournament championship, will extend their ACC record, a league best 23rd tournament crown. Proctor at the left angle, shot fake, Scott flies by, the three-pointer is off the rim and no good, but now only 1:20 to go. The Blue Devils still up by 11, 68-57, and a foul is called on Proctor. Hepburn deep on the right wing, and Proctor immediately knew he made a mistake out there, clipping Hepburn's arm.
It's doubly a mistake because it's over the limit. If it had just been a common foul under 7, no big deal. They would have thrown it in from the side, but now a good free throw shooter, Chucky Hepburn, gets to go to the line for a chance to get 2 points.
85% of the season for Hepburn. First is up and in. He's 3 of 3 today. So it's 68-58 with 1:15 to go. Duke the lead. And if the Blue Devils win this game, it'll be 2 ACC tournament titles in 3 seasons for John Shire and the Blue Devils. Second free throw, no good. 10-point game. Louisville puts on full court pressure here, looking to come up with a steal. They double Gillis, and an immediate timeout is called out of his pass to Sion James along the near sideline. And with good reason, the shot clock was at 21, and if one more second came off, it would have been a 10-second violation.
That's why Shire was up screaming. He saw it before his players did and avoided the turnover.
So Duke during this regular season, a 20-game ACC regular season schedule, they won 10 of their 20 regular season games by 25 points or more. And it's tightened up here in the ACC tournament, 8 points and 3 points, their respective margins of victory. They're up 10 right now. And John Shire will take them to a number 1 seed. We'll find out, of course, all the reality tomorrow, but the expectation is that they'll be located in Raleigh to get things started. A rough 8-mile trip to start your NCAA tournament.
We love Dickie V to death. He's on TV hawking his gala, which I love because the money goes to the V Foundation and for pediatric cancer research. But he's basically doing an end-of-the-game commercial showing the list of the celebrities who will be at his gala. It's a fantastic event.
We got Cal, we got Michael Strahan, we got Coach Hurley, we got Grant Hill.
Oh, they're from all walks of life. It's a fascinating event to go. It really is. Because he runs in any celebrity finds and basically demands they come, and they do.
And who doesn't love Dickie V? On the call tonight with Dave O'Brien, Corey Alexander on ESPN Television. Mike Cousins, Bob Valvano with you here at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte. And 1:05 to go. Duke by 10 over Louisville for an ACC tournament crown. Louisville, even with a loss, here is Scott Fowles. 1 minute to go at midcourt. Louisville's going to the ACC tournament. So they'll be disappointed tonight, but happy tomorrow as they assemble wherever that may be to watch the selection show because it's been a 5-year gap. The last time they went was under Chris Mack back in 2019, and the last time they advanced beyond the first round was 2017.
That's, by the way, foul number 5 on Scott, so his afternoon is finished.
Into the right side, Sion James. First free throw is good. Duke by 11. Louisville this year has a lot to be proud of. They increased their win total by 19 games this season, tying the record for the largest year-over-year increase in ACC history. Second free throw down for James. Duke by 12. A minute to go. 70-58 in Charlotte. Hepburn, top of the key. Into the lane, unimpeded, lays it up. And Duke is certainly happy to let that go. 70-60, Blue Devils, 52.4 to play. Sion James picks up the ball on the baseline, shuffles underneath the basket stanchion. Now back to the near side. Fires in for Proctor, and he's fouled with 50.3 to go. So I suppose it's all over but the fouling here, barring an epic collapse by Duke. But overall, a good free throw shooting team. They're up by 10. 50 seconds to go with the foul there on Kenai Roots.
And you hit it. That's a key stat today. I mean, Louisville, as I said, that's been a strength of theirs, arguably even more than Duke. Duke outscores their opponents by 4 at the free throw line, Louisville by 5. But today, Duke is 16 of 20 at the line. Louisville is just 5 of 10. So Duke has had a parade to the free throw stripe, although oddly enough, Proctor, who's made everything else he's looked at, can't make any free throws today. It's 4 straight misses after he's made 6 threes.
Highly unusual. Maybe he needs to fade away and shoot to the right like he was with his three-pointers.
It's too close, yeah.
This one standing statuesque, save for his upper body, goes in. 71-60, Blue Devils up by 11. Their largest lead today was 13. And I think the things peaked tonight offensively for Louisville, the end of the first half, when they were up 38-33. Off-balance three-pointer right side, no good for Hepburn. Caroms off of Duke, so Louisville keeps it as it goes out of bounds on the baseline.
If Louisville hits a 3, which is not out of the realm of possibility, it will make the margin 8, which, as I said to you, has been the average winning margin for the ACC championship games over the last 10 years.
Well, we got multiple whistles now from Clarence Armstrong, and it appears Pat Kelsey has used his final timeout. Louisville head coach was just a foot or so away from the official, so he stops the clock here with 34 points. Well, the clock was already stopped, but he keeps it stopped with the timeout. Amazingly, Duke has not hit a field goal in the last 4 minutes and 38 seconds. 0 for the last 5, but it's been those trips to the free throw line that have kept the margin a comfortable lead.
Yeah, and they have made those free throws count. As I said, they've been shooting at a pretty good clip, even including the last miss from Proctor. They're still up over 77% from the stripe. That's been a big factor. Louisville's actually out-rebounded them. The turnovers are very close. Louisville's made 11. Duke's made 10. But the simple fact of the matter is Duke has shot way more free throws and shot them very well. That's the biggest difference. Even the field goal percentage is not a huge disparity. Duke 44%, Louisville 40%. But the Dukies, and I can't say it's one of the people who don't like Duke. That's the officials. No, they've earned it. They've gotten to the line. They have done a good job of earning those free throws.
No disputing that if you watch this game closely tonight. But Pat Kelsey, what a first year. coaching his 9th conference title game in 13 seasons as a head coach. And this will end a winning streak for him. He won his last 5 conference title games, whether it was at the College of Charleston or where he started his head coaching career at Winthrop. The Louisville in good hands going forward, and Duke can certainly say the same. On their way to their 2nd ACC title in 3 seasons. 3-pointer straight on. No good for Edwards, and it's out of bounds on the baseline off Duke again with 27 seconds to play, and Duke with an 11-point cushion, 71-60.
He ran what they call an elevator cut for trying to get Terrence a 3. That's what you do in these situations. You're trying to learn something.
So Edwards launches an off-balance 3, missed it. Hepburn saves it, 20 to play. Edwards left angle on the dribble against Knipple in the paint. Runner with the right and in. 71-62 Duke. And the biggest question now is, do they let Cooper Flagg go on the ladder to cut down the nets? Right? You don't let him do that.
Kelsey's telling them don't foul, so immediately, of course,
they do. Edwards on the far sideline collides with Knipple and knocks him over.
All the way into the seats.
Much to the dismay and consternation of the assembled Duke faithful. They want everybody to get out of here healthy, with the Blue Devils already down 2 players.
Plus, it's still only 11:15 locally. You still have time to go out there and get some fight to eat and a cold brew, and I think everybody's looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to a cold pillow.
Yes, we've discussed that, you and I.
I do my best work when the sun is up. Free throw for Knipple on the right end is good. 72-62, Duke by 10, 13.7 to go.
If he makes this one, it'll be an even 67,000 meals donated. I just looked at the scoreboard.
And Knipple's second free throw, also good. And now, here is Spencer Hubbard into the game for Duke. They love this guy, in part because of what he's listed on the roster. 5'8", 157. He's hit a couple of threes this season. He's matched up with Kadir Traore. 3-pointer straight on, out of bounds for Terrence Edwards.
That should do it. I can't imagine they're going to foul. So that should wrap up exact same margin as the first time they played. 11 points.
That was all the way back on December 8th, here on March 15th. So Hubbard takes the inbounds pass in the backcourt, spins it to James, who stands under the basket on the left side. And the final score in Charlotte, Duke 73, Louisville 62. The Duke Blue Devils are champions of the ACC tournament for a 23rd time.
Well, it certainly didn't come easy. They had to overcome a lot of adversity, not the least